Welcome to the video, everybody. And listen, the Yankees are going to the World Series. I just finished watching the game, Game 5. I am on cloud 9 right now. I still can't believe it. Game 5 was just insane. Game 4 was insane. Game 3 was insane. All the games in Cleveland were insane. I think about this. There's been a lot of postseason games in Cleveland. Some crazy stuff has happened. Game 7 of the 2016 World Series. Every game in this series. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Where do I even start? Where do I even start? Juan Soto. Give him $1 billion in the offseason. Yankees, give him $1 billion check because he deserves every single penny of it. You know, when you going back to last wintertime, when you traded for Juan Soto, you traded for that moment in the 10th inning with two runners on, 2 outs. You know, Juan Soto steps up to the plate, calm and cool and collected. It's not a problem for him. He's sitting there fouling pitches off. He's sitting nodding his head like a crazy man at Gaddis, Cleveland's pitcher. And you know what he does? Takes it right center field, home run, 3-run shot, sends the Yankees to the World Series. That is what you that's what you trade for. That's why you don't prospect hug. That is exactly why you trade for one of the best hitters in our generation. Absolutely insane. I couldn't believe it. And for him to get the final out of the series too, it's a perfect story. Because this game is all about Juan Soto. I'm in utter disbelief. I can't believe it. That's why you trade. That's why you trade for a Juan Soto. I mean, just his at bats. They're just so. I go back to previous years, and one of the things that really frustrated me in the postseason, there was no help outside of Aaron Judge. There was nobody there to protect him. And even Aaron Judge has struggled pretty much all postseason. Juan Soto, man, he just adds a layer of not just protection, but just an ability for pitchers. They can't take hitters off. Like when you're pitching around, you can pitch around Aaron Judge. You can't pitch around Juan Soto. It's dang near impossible. He's so good at working counts. His vision is insane. I mean, just he's sitting there after fouling balls off, nodding his head at Hunter Gaddis. Like, dude, what is wrong with you? He's a monster. And he proved it today. Now, Giancarlo Stanton, my goodness. He can bat 220 in the regular season all he wants with 20 bombs. All he wants. Because in October, he is Mr. October, the reincarnation of Mr. October, a totally different player in the postseason. He shows up time and time again. Another big fly tonight when they needed him to tie the game. Don't know why Stephen Vogt left in Tanner Bibee. Don't know why they left him in, but that was a really bad decision. He was working. You know, one of the things about Stanton, when you look at his bats, you throwing that slider outside and it's pinch in the corner, he's going to chase. But if you miss, you're going to pay. And Bibee paid big time. All of the Guardians pitchers paid big time in this series. And Stanton, my goodness. I mean, to think about this, those guys are Judge is sandwiched between those guys. I know in this game and previous games, but having Soto in front of Judge and Stanton behind Judge, I mean, it's going to be very rare you get all 3 of those guys on one night. And another thing I want to talk about, Game 3 was insane. For Aaron Judge to the whole team to get at Class A 2 nights in a row, amazing. But going back to Game 3, Judge hits just a liner out, barely gets over. Awesome. Ties the game. Next batter, Stanton. Boom. Center field. Home run. Takes the lead. I'm just like, let's go. This is it. We go up 3-0. It's over. And then the Guardians do what we know the Guardians like to do. They're fighters, man. They don't quit. Those guys, David Fry, my goodness. I don't know if it's just me, but Fry's bat, it just looks like it's 5 feet longer than all the other baseball bats. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But when he was ready to go in Game 3, hits that double. It was down to 2 strikes. Luke Weaver was down to 2 strikes. frustrating we lost, but it doesn't matter. Down 2 strikes, David Fry hits that, and then Noel hits the home run to tie. Once that happened, I knew the game was over. I knew the game was over, especially with Clay Holmes coming in. I knew it was over. The Yankees were not winning that game. And really the point I'm going to get at is previous Yankees teams, they don't fight back from a game 3 type situation. The teams in the past, they let that hold over them, and they have a hard time bouncing back after an emotional loss like we had in game 3. And it wasn't an issue for this Yankees team. I mean, yesterday they showed up. They were ready to hit. First inning, Juan Soto, boom, game 4, ready to hit. Home run start. Gleyber Torres. We give him so much crap. I'm talking to the Yankees fan base. We give him so much crap in the regular season. Throughout his time in the Yankees, he's had his ups, he's had his downs. But man, this postseason, he's been a phenomenal leadoff hitter. Awesome. Bullpen, great job. Luke Weaver, great job. Clay Holmes, when he's not pitching in the 9th or the 10th inning, he did pretty good. He's been pretty good so far outside of that closer role, late inning role. Garrett Cole, he had, he didn't have his ace stuff, but good enough. Carlos Rodon, good enough. His first starting game, was it game 1? I believe it was game 1. He pitched, or game 2. Don't remember. But one of those games he threw really, really well. Ate a lot of innings in game 5. Very proud of this Yankees team. Aaron Boone didn't get in the way. Thought Aaron Boone made some pretty good moves. Now, one of the things, I'm really worried about the base running when it comes to what we'll see in the World Series. They gotta nip that in the bud. They've been the worst base running team in all of baseball. But going forward, they gotta nip that in the bud. And John Birdie at first base, really, I wasn't sure what the Yankees were doing there. Throughout the middle of this series, he really made me nervous. Usually, and then when Rizzo came in, he didn't do really well. Talking about game 3, so really need them to shore up, the infield. They need to shore up the infield, because that's going to cost. It can cost them a game, and it can cost them a series. So I would say they got to figure out. The infield in base running. Those things can kill you in the postseason, and it hasn't thus far. But it's one of those things where you keep kicking that can down the road, it can really cost you big time in the World Series. Now, matchup-wise, it's either going to be the Dodgers or the Mets. Hey, whoever it is, I'm ready for them. It doesn't matter to me. Mets, just because it's the Mets, I would love to beat the Mets. Subway Series Part 2 in the World Series. The Dodgers, man, that would be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun. Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Stanton. I mean, that would be electric. I'm a little worried about the Dodgers starting pitching, if it can hold up. They've been relying on that bullpen heavy. Mets starting pitching has been solid. The thing about the Mets, the bats can get they have a clutch gene. They've been clutch all postseason thus far, and they remind me a lot of the Guardians, where they're just never out of a game. And it's a bad feeling to have, if you're on the other side of that. But regardless, I'm super excited. The Yankees have won the AL pennant. The Yankees are going to the World Series for the first time since 2009. And, the last time the Yankees been to the World Series, I was a little kid. I was like 8 years old. I remember it, but I hardly remember it. So this is a special feeling, right? Now, what would make this even better is if we actually go in and win the World Series. But I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. What do you make of the Yankees winning the World Series? Who do you want them to see in the World Series? And hey, chase for 28. Been saying that for a few years now. Now it's almost coming to fruition. I'm excited. Just for baseball fans in general, it's going to be a great World Series. I know the game of baseball, they wanted a World Series. Either, obviously, Yankees, Dodgers, that's what MLB wants, but Yankees, Mets, that's going to be a lot of fun too. Please like and subscribe to the video. I'm going to have more content on the way this postseason. We appreciate all the support. We're going to have more videos for you this upcoming week. See you guys.